Hi everyone, this is Salamata. You're listening to Salamata speaking. Welcome back to the podcast. I really appreciate you for being here. It means a great deal to me. And I guess we'll get into the podcast now. I really want to talk about filters, okay? Back in the day, I'm gonna say back in the day, but like I'm talking about like 2000s, like 2010 or whatever. Filters kind of like changed the whole screen. It was like black and white and a vignette, but now like filters literally change your facial features, and I think that is scary. It's disgusting. Yes, you get to see what you look like if you were gonna dye your hair pink. That's cool. Like that's a cool thing. You know what I mean? Um, or if you want to get contacts, right? But to the point where like you're unrecognizable, it's giving this entire generation like body dysmorphia. Like nobody knows what they actually look like because phones are distorting our image of ourselves. So when we look in the mirror, we're like, that's not what I look like, is it? Is it? And in family pictures, when like other people take pictures of you, you're just like, oh no, I look so bad. When you don't, you've convinced yourself that you look bad because of all the filters that you've used. I don't know how we're gonna stop that because it really comes down to loving yourself. Because at first everyone was like, filters, it's a fun thing to do. Like, I'm not insecure about myself. I think I'm pretty chill. And we're like using the dog filter and things, right? And then it just became everyone just immersed in this filter culture. And with like the Instagram filters scare me. I've never used an Instagram filter, but when I see other people use a filter and I know what they look like in real life, and all of a sudden they're white, you know, all of a sudden they're white, skinny nose, blue eyes, like fuller, bigger lips that are like really Bratz doll face. And it's scary. It's scary. I don't know. I wouldn't want like filters and like self-esteem to be what ruins this generation. You know what I mean? Like that would be so terrible. Like, I think we're really strong. I'm talking about Gen Z. I think we're really cool and awesome and we all have like ambitions and we realize that like capitalism might not be the thing for us and that we are going to try all the things that we want because the world is our oyster. But if we don't quit it with the filters and like just being like insecure about ourselves, it's terrible because people are marketing, like companies are marketing on your insecurity. It's crazy. Like the plastic surgery industry must be booming. Everybody wants to look like Kim Kardashian. But like Kim Kardashian doesn't look like Kim Kardashian. I'm pretty sure like if she did nothing to her body, she wouldn't look like that now. But also, she photoshops her pictures. And I'm not just like saying Kim Kardashian, but like influencers in general. I feel as though influencers do have a responsibility to the people, especially to young women who are like looking up to them and watching their stuff. Like they just need to be honest to us. Because if they're marketing themselves as like relatable young adults who are like in college and just sharing their experience, they should tell us like I photoshopped this or like here's the original picture and just be honest honestly because wow just be honest honestly because like a lot of people just need to know that, to just remember that like Instagram isn't real life, and it does feel like real life because like we're in a pandemic and like that's how you connect to the world, and that's where you're watching all the fashion trend and like what's in and what's out. So I do believe Instagram gurus owe that to us. But also, I wouldn't really appreciate a skinny white blonde girl to be like, love yourself, right? They do get a lot of backlash for that because, like, you're literally perfect by society's standards. Like, how could you possibly understand? But it isn't fair because you don't know that person's personal battles. Like, you don't know who's had to deal with what, so it's not fair to them for sure. So it's a really, really hard line to be walking. But I think that's what makes it interesting. Nothing in life is really perfect or black and white as we wish it was. But also, like, back in the day, it existed because older people like to say, like, like they just like to blame all the problems that are happening in our generation on our generation. But, like, body dysmorphia is not new to this generation. Unrealistic standards are not new to this generation. It's just that now, like, we're fed it at such a young age because of social media. But also, like, you gotta remember, like, back in the day, they had magazines, and in magazines, you had, like, the skinny women, skinny women with, like, the Megan Foxes of the world. Megan Fox is beautiful. Beautiful woman. Oh my god, I love her. But those ladies and like Paris Hilton, like that was in. That was who you needed to be. There was no social media, but there was still a high standard. So I'm not gonna blame it on my generation like everyone else does because we didn't start it. We didn't start it. We just elevate everything with each generation. But I feel like my generation is like realizing and seeing a lot of these things and we're just rewinding a bit. Like I see people on TikTok like buying retro phones. I think that's so cool. Like I want to go get a Nokia. I want to do that. Like that's so cool. Like to just be anti-mainstream culture is what we're really bringing back. Like that's what like punk and goth and stuff was all about. But they always get a bad rep and bad stigma. If anybody knows any documentaries about like the punk scene or the goth scenes or like that kind of history, please send it over to me. DM it to me on Instagram at Salamasa0 because that's something I really want to like. I'm interested in learning about. Yeah, that's something I find really fascinating. But all in all, I just want to remind you all like, don't subscribe to what social media says you have to do. Do everything in life for yourself. Truly love yourself and appreciate yourself. Remember to tell your body, I'm grateful for you. Because in the end, if you're alive right now, your body is doing everything it was made to do. All your body needs to do is keep you alive. That's all it needs to do. You know? That's all it needs to do. Your body has only failed when you die. So until then, you better love yourself. Because that's the only way to truly be living. Yeah. That was a nice, good note to end this segment on. But now I'm going to talk to you guys about my week because I'm realizing these podcasts are a bit short. And like some of you like that they're short, but also like podcasts are supposed to be 30 minutes long and stuff. So I'll tell you about my week. My week was really busy. Like every week is busy because I'm an overachiever. And I like that though. I like to be busy. Because when you give yourself too much room, you lose the drive and ambition, and there's just like no fire up your ass, That's what I like to call it. Like, I know I'm constantly stressed, and like, stress is not good for your like immune system, but like, I need to get shit done. I got money to make. Not that I'm making any money, but like, when it comes to that day when like I'm getting a job, I want to have experiences. I want to have done things. I want to have learned things, and I want to keep learning things. I just joined an Arabic program, so I'll be learning Arabic. So I'll come at you guys and be like, shukran. That means thank you. I forgot the other ones. I forgot nice to meet you. But I'll come back and I'll know some things. I know mashallah, but is that Arabic? Or is that just from the Quran? I could just come on here and read verses from the Quran and be like, I know Arabic. But guys, I'll be honest with you guys because honesty is the best policy, right? Right. Today I was looking through an old binder because my mom has kept all my like schoolwork things from when I started school at 2 years old. Whenever I tell people I started school at 2 years old, they're like, "You're lying." Like, how did you start school at 2 years old? But I did. But I did. Growing up in Guinea, I was just very advanced. I guess I learned to read early, and they were like, "Do you want to go to school?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they put me in school. My parents put me in school, and I loved it. I loved every second of it, and I learned a bunch. Like, what do you learn in school as like a 2 year old? You learn shapes and colors and letters, and you do like fun little art projects, and I always loved that. But from 2 years old to now 15, I was looking at my records, and I've collected a lot of certificates. And I'm just thinking, like, were they just handing out these certificates because I have so many? It either means it either means everybody won because there's certificates for like participation. I don't like I okay, here's the thing. I'm really iffy on the participation certificate thing because like if it's something hard, if it's like I woke up every day for 6, 7 months to go to school that was 15 minutes away on every single Saturday for 4 hours to do some extracurricular like school learning thing. That seems fair for a participation trophy. Trophy, Jesus, English? Not my first language. Participation trophy. That deserves it. But like if you go to like a one-time soccer tournament and you get like participation trophy, that's kind of weird. I remember this one time I ran track. Okay, guys, when I used to be athletic. Oh my god. This is very off course, but I ran track once. Not really. I ran track once. My very first tournament and my very last because I was like, what is this? Like people do this for fun. It wasn't for me. But I ran track and I did the long jump and I got third in the long jump. And I asked the lady, like, did I really get third? And she was like, yeah, take it. And then I looked at the other girl and she was really bummed that she had the participation thing. So I switched with her. To me, it didn't really resonate in my head. Like, you won. Like, top three, girl, you won. You've won this section. So I just switched it out. And now that I think about it, that's kind of stupid, but like, that's how like unreliable it is. Given that like it wasn't the Olympics, I bet the Olympics you can't just like switch like your bronze medal for some other person's. But I did that. I don't understand sports. I wish I could. I spent my last day of school before coronavirus watching a baseball game, and when I tell you I was confused the entire time because the baseball field is bigger than like the softball field, and I've played softball. I was on a team, so I can like understand a bit like, but the field was huge and I couldn't follow, and I was sitting far away, and I wear glasses, guys. I'm blind, so I was very lost as to what was happening, but that's how I spent my last day. Because on that Friday, I decided not to go to school because I was like, the world is ending. And I posted all my fun predictions on Snapchat. And everybody was like, you're so paranoid. Like, you're so weird. You're so dramatic. What are you talking about? And guys, I would just like to say I was right. I hate that I was right, but like, I was right. So if you ask me to predict something and I predict it, you might want to listen to me. But I'm not liable if anything goes wrong. I'm a liability. That song is so good. Liability by Lorde. Don't listen to that song. It is not good for building your self esteem. Listen to Successful by Ariana Grande or Good as Hell by Lizzo. Ariana Grande will also hop on that song. I guess I love Ariana Grande. I was listening to Positions before this, the album, not just the song. That album is so good. And then she released the deluxe with more songs on there. I was like, girl, I love you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Um, if we talk about like the cycle of music, like Ariana has dropped albums every year, And I think the other person that's like closest to her in that is Taylor Swift. Because when Ariana dropped Sweetener, she dropped Thank You Next like 6 months later, I think. And that's crazy. Like, that's crazy turnaround time. And Taylor Swift also dropped, what was it? Folklore. And then she dropped not Afterglow. That's not the album's name. That's an Ed Sheeran song. Evermore. Is that what it's called? Girl, I don't know. I didn't listen to the album. I'm not over Folklore yet. I barely got into it. But I didn't listen to the new album. Don't cancel me for that. You know who I really appreciate, whose music been really hitting different? SZA. You see what I did there? Hit Different by SZA. It's such a good song. Like, she's phenomenal. She needs to drop the album. But if y'all keep clowning her with these memes, there's gonna be no album for us kids. Come on now. Be nice. Be nice to Miss Lana. And just her style. I can't believe she's 30. Okay, I've been realizing that like people don't just die at 30 years old. Which like I should know because my parents are like over 30. And like my grandparents are like way old. So like I don't know why in my brain I was like when I'm 30 years old I'm gonna be retired and done with life. But like that's what I want. I don't want to be working. What is labor? Like I just want to buy a castle and be chilling in my castle, like holding art galleries and stuff. Collect some art. All my friends are artists. Um, so I'll just buy their art and just like put it in an art gallery and like collect those artifacts. So it doesn't that sound like a plan? I've got it all figured out. I don't know how I'm going to get the money though. That's the only part I need help with. Where am I going to get the money? Thank you so much for listening. This was Salamata speaking. I really appreciate your presence here. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I hope you have a phenomenal evening, morning, night, week, weekend, all of it. I hope you're fantastic and you stay awesome. Bye bye.